I just want to thank God, man, because I've had so many whack jobs. I've literally worked with gang members. I worked with a dude who had a missing ring finger, and in the hole and shit, it was a smiley face. I was like, okay, I can't do this shit.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs, back in the motherfucking place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios, back in the place to be again. Time and time again, tell a friend, tell your girlfriend for me is Big Serbavel. Yes. And we are on numero 69, Athena. Rest in peace to my koi fish Athena, bro. Really sad. This golden, beautiful koi fish Athena we've had for at least 10 years. And in the pond, she passed away. I don't know how, but I would assume it's because the poor filtration system in the pond. I think we just had too many fish, and it really saddened me, bro, because we don't know shit about ponds like that, really. So it just sucks. Athena was like one of my favorite koi fish. She was always swimming around and like the bravest one. Cause there was a stork or something that would terrorize our fish, and like some of our fish got eaten, and a lot of them still remember that. It's crazy. Like, you don't think fish would like know shit like about you would just think that they would just swim around and do whatever, but no, bro. Like, fish are really conscious. Life is conscious. So the fish were all scared, and they're like kind of scared. A few of them, like the bigger ones, they do swim on the top, maybe because like the smaller ones kind of congregate and make up the bottom portion of the pond. But yeah, it's kind of sad. It really saddened me when my pop told me, because he found Athena in the filter, and it just kind of fucked my whole day up. You know what I mean? I didn't even really feel like doing anything. It just really just put me in a bad state. But rest in peace to Athena forever. I'm gonna forever love that fish. I might put a clip up or something. Rest in peace, Athena, because I know I have her in one of my videos that I saved, thank God. But Athena's like the third fish now that died from the original video I had. We had 18 fish, so now we only have 15. And it just sucks, man. I never really especially because I love the fish. We feed the fish every day and we take care of them and stuff. But it just seems like we just didn't, like, maybe whatever. Maybe Athena ate something, because she died right after it was really windy. So maybe the winds threw some shit into the pond, and maybe she ate something, because she was the only one that passed away. But I don't know, but I know the number one reason is poor filtration. But that still wouldn't make sense as to why she's the only one. If it was like, or whatever, maybe she just was too big for the pond and she just got sick or something. Maybe it's either she got sick or the winds blew something. Either way, we're not doing like a good job of keeping the fish, providing the fish with a healthy space to live in, and for that I'm really sad over it. And rest in peace to Athena. Funny thing about talking about Athena, I've been playing God of War, and God of War is fucking sick. I always grew up with an Xbox, So I had like Halo, Gears of War. I grew up on those. Well, Gears of War, not I didn't really grow up on Gears of War. I wasn't really that into. To me, it just kind of seemed like a third person Halo or something. But with God of War, I never played it. So now that I have a PS4, I just got the PlayStation Premium. I didn't know it was $20 a month. That's wild, bro. That's a little too crazy. Do I have something in my eyebrow? Is just that the way? What the fuck? I was over here looking and shit. Like what the hell? But anyway, with the PlayStation now, I could play all kinds of shit with the premium, and I played God of War. That's definitely like out of all these games, God of War is the original God of War is the hardest game for sure. Just based off of the puzzles you got to do. God of War 2 had some challenging puzzles, but they were I don't think they weren't as challenging as God of War 1. God of War 1, I feel like the bosses, cuz you fight Ares, who was kind of a bitch, but he was like, the bosses aren't that hard. God of War, you would think the bosses are really, and I played this on easy, so maybe I'm just talking shit because I had it easy the whole way, but I think God of War, the first one was really crazy. My cousin had it for the PlayStation, so I remember playing it, and I couldn't even get past like the second mission or something where you go, like I think I only got up to like a certain part, like where you get to these rooftops, and it's kind of confusing because if you don't pay attention, you don't know where to go. So God of War 1, it wasn't so much that it was hard, it was just the puzzles and kind of navigating where to go. And I IGN walked through that shit the whole way, basically just, it's telling me, you go here, you go there. And I think that's better for me, bro, because if I was a kid, I would have just got mad and I would have left it alone. And like the whole fighting mechanics is dope. Like you're just swinging fucking your blades around and you got the magic. So on the first one, you have like Poseidon's fury, you have like Zeus's lightning bolts, you have Hades' souls that come and attack. They fucking fly around, they attack. What else do you have? There's Zeus's bolts, Poseidon's thunder. You have Medusa's gaze. You have Medusa's head, and you freeze your enemies in the stone, and you can fucking break them. And I want to say that's it. The second one, oh, and in the first game, it's pretty crazy because I thought you were the God of War, but basically what it is Ares is like doing too much. He's starting too many wars. The gods are kind of sick of him. So all the gods literally help you kill Ares. Ares then because like I don't want to spoil it, but the whole story is fucking awesome. So basically, you take Ares' place as the God of War, and that's why it's called God of War, because at the end, you become the God of War. And I really hate that in the end, you get the best, you become all powerful, but you can't do shit. You're the strongest. You played the game up until the point where you have everything, you maxed out all your magic, all that shit. You're a god now. But you can't play the game again. Like if you start a new game, you got to start all over. You can't start again with the powers that you've already built. Versus in God of War 2, you can do that at the end. Once you beat it, you unlock the hardest level of the game, which is the God difficulty. I would never play those games on God difficulty. As it is, God of War 1 and 2 were fucking challenging on easy. God of War, I'm playing God of War 3 now. God of War 3 is super easy. Like, it's a fucking breeze. I might go and play God of War 3 on normal and maybe even hard just because, I want to see what it's like. So God of War 2 is kind of... And before I go into 2, the first one, I'll give it like a solid 8.5. Great game, phenomenal. God of War 2 is exactly like God of War 1. It came out a year later, so you could tell that, the graphics, they might have bumped them up a little bit, barely even, and the fighting mechanics are different, and then the magic is different. But besides that, it's pretty much the same game. I like I like the combos and shit that you could do. So just based off of that, I'll give it an 8.6. And then with God of War 3, I just killed Hades. I got his chains and shit. So I think the God of War series is really dope. I can't wait. I actually want to get a PSP just so I could play Ghost of Sparta and Chains of Olympus. And with God of War 2, did I just say I'll give it an 8.6? I have like super duper ADHD or something. Or no, ADD. ADHD was when you're fucking hyper. ADD, yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. With God of War 3, the graphics look crazy. I mean, in 4 years, the graphics look insane. Like how Batman, bless you, my dog just sneezed. How Batman Arkham City looks compared to Arkham Asylum type shit. Like it just takes it to a whole nother level, which I really love to see. And it continues the story, which is what I really like because, you know, God of War Ragnarok just came out, but one of my homies was like, "You really don't need to, play any of the God of War games." But I'm like, bro, I want to play all the games. If I'm going to play God of War Ragnarok, I got to play all the games. I'm not with this shit where I play the sequels and then I go back to the original because then it's just not going to make sense. I did that with John Wick. I saw John Wick 2 before even seeing John Wick 1. And a lot of the references they were saying, I didn't even understand. So I don't like doing that shit. God of War 1, phenomenal. God of War 2 is Kratos is a god, but Athena, it's crazy because it's the irony. So in the first one, Ares is doing too much. Then they have Kratos kill Ares. In the second one, Athena tells Kratos, "You're doing too much." And the gods basically trick Kratos into becoming immortal again. And in the beginning of the game, you're immortal. You lose all your god powers. You're not a god anymore. And Zeus tries to kill you. I fucking blanked out for a second. And then and then like you journey to killing Zeus. You battle Zeus in the end, but you don't kill him. You accidentally kill Athena. Athena comes into the God of War, and I'm spoiling this. If you didn't know, you should probably whatever. Spoiler alert. But Athena comes to you in God of War 3, and then she's like fucking, you gotta. She's helping you out, which is really, really surprising. And I'm not gonna get into more spoilers, but I just really like where the story's going. And God of War 3, I really like that you're actually killing the gods. In the beginning, you kill one, and then you kill another like right after that. So I just like that Kratos is stepping it up a notch. Like he's like going full fucking fury on everybody in God of War 3. And I don't know how long I spent on the God of War review, but I'll give God of War 3 so far. I'll give it a solid 9.1 just from the graphics, the play style. The enemies are kind of the same, but I guess not that it gets redundant because the play style it's super awesome, so it never really gets boring. But I would give it a high review if the enemies were a little different, and it makes up for that because you got to kill the god, so that makes it like more enticing. Like you got to do the puzzles, fight, and like maneuver your way into killing the gods. What's up, boy? You always do this. My dog always does this, man. Buddy, you can't get up. You cannot do that. You can't do that, you understand? You gotta stay here for like at least another half hour, you understand? Buddy. Okay. Okay, so I want to say rest in peace to, is it Shanquella? Shanquella Robinson. She was murdered on vacation with her friends in Mexico. There was a video that came out of her basically being beaten while she was naked. And I guess her friends were enticing the fight. Very sad. I mean, this type of shit, I don't understand it. like, shouldn't you know where you stand with your friends? And if this was premeditated murder, that's wild. You know what I mean? To be like, yeah, we're all gonna go and we're gonna kill her and all this and that, and the whole thing is crazy. They try to blame it on like alcohol and all this other nonsense that was pretty wild to me. But a lot of people were saying like, you know, some stupid shit. You know, people are dumb as fuck. They're saying like Mexico should be held responsible and like all this shit, and they're like Mexico's trying to cover it up and all that. And it's like, bro, this is there's an investigation that goes on. Just because they don't solve the fucking everything that happened within the first 2 hours of the information being like, bro, the police are trying to actively investigate what happened while you're on fucking Twitter being a clown. You know what I mean? Speaking on shit you have no idea what the fuck. Like, for all we know, this could have been a setup. This could have been an accident. Whatever it is, details haven't come out because this is already like maybe a week or two after the fact. So I know I'm late, but you know, I just got carried away with shit. What the fuck was that? So I just wanted to say rest in peace. I thought it was crazy. I could never imagine that happening to anybody, really, bro. And I just want to say justice for Shanquella Robinson. Very just, it's just wild. Like, how random is that, bro? To be killed by your own friends, bro. I think I would know who would have static with me, and if I had any kind of inkling as to who would kind of even think to do some shit like that, I would never even be in the same city as them, or let alone going on trips. But I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and judge nobody. I'm just, you know, gonna stand up and say, you know, rest in peace. We need justice, because to me this sounds like first degree murder. If you go to Mexico and then within like the first day or something like that, you get beaten to death or however the fuck it went, that's wild. That just tells me that this shit was a setup. This, in my opinion, this seemed like a setup. It seemed like they had already in their mind, you know, they were gonna take action for some whatever reason, and maybe it went too far, or it just whatever, right? So I just want to say rest in peace once again. And peace and blessings to all the family, prayers to the loved ones, and anyone who this may affect. Bigg K versus A Ward was canceled. A Ward, he came out like maybe a fucking day or two before the card. I think this was closure 2 for RBE. Shout out RBE ARP. So basically, A Ward came out on Twitter and he was like, I don't feel good or something like that. I just came out of he came out of urgent care and all this shit, and Bigg K was clowning on him with a verb, I think on Clubhouse, like, or Spaces. Like, how is this shit? When I found out, like, when I started seeing Twitter and Instagram on the news, that's how I knew, like, this shit is fucking weird. Like, how are you gonna run to social media for facts or information, you know? But Bigg K was saying that A Ward was underprepared. Now, I do see that side. I do see, you know, okay, you fucking, like, how was it a coincidence that right before the battle you get hospitalized for being sick? Like, that's crazy. But I also do understand that things happen out of our control. And who knows, man, maybe this is like a delay until, because they're obviously, they gotta have to, the deposit's already there. Like, the contract's already signed. They gotta do this battle. It's just a matter of fact when it's gonna happen again. And I feel like whatever this battle was gonna be, the battle that's gonna happen, the real Bigg K versus A Ward battle, that's gonna be phenomenal. And, you know, I was gonna be talking some shit like, you know what, Bigg K, he's gonna come in, he's gonna demolish A Ward. But after the A Ward versus Geechee Gotti battle, I don't know. A Ward has been kind of taking a lot of battles recently, but I'm going to just chalk this up to either 2-2 or just a debatable classic. 2-1 or a debatable classic. I feel like either of these guys, phenomenal battle rappers. Bigg K, very punchline heavy, very, you know, he got that street talk. He got real good metaphors and similes. Bigg K's just a really dope rapper. In those regards. A Ward, he has more so like he could angle, he could scheme, and kind of like not what Big K is missing, but a lot of the strengths that Big K doesn't have, A Ward has. So this is kind of like I don't know, alpha and omega type shit like that. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's just really like who one's weaknesses are the other's strength, one's strength is the other weakness type thing. So I can't wait to see this, man. I wonder where they're gonna battle. If this is gonna be a one off, I hope it's not. I hope they put this on a, because this deserves a big look. So hopefully they do put this on a big card. Nick Cannon has fucking is expecting his 12th child. That's pretty crazy. I really don't understand why anyone would have 12 kids now in this society. Not in this society, but in the world now at this point. But you know, what is there to, you know, I'm not gonna fucking judge nobody. I mean, it's Nick Cannon, bro. He got the money to do for it. The only thing is though, when you have just one child, that's your world, bro. That's literally like a kid demands so much and needs so much of your time and your and attention. You can't be going around fucking having 12 kids like that. I mean, I guess in the old days you could, but I don't know how it's like feasible or whatever. I just thought that was really wild. I had a little joke where I was telling my dad, you know what I mean? I want 15 kids. But now, going as I'm getting older and I'm thinking about having a family and stuff. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, I don't give a fuck if I have more than enough money to provide for my kids. I just don't want any one of my children being like, oh, well, my sister or my brother got the more attention because they were born first, or they were born before me, or yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? And you can never be the perfect parent as it is. So why even fuck that up even more by having more kids than a fucking sack of marbles or whatever the fuck, right? But shout out Nick Cannon. I don't want to seem like I'm shitting on him. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't do it, but to each his own. You know what I mean? Nick Cannon, he's doing well for himself. I'm sure he's doing well in his personal life to where he can make decisions like this. So shout out to Nick Cannon, bro. And we were talking about this with my barber Carlos. Shout out to the homie Carlos. We talked about doing a podcast and we set it up. So if we don't do it, you know, it's right here. It's documented. But we're just talking about different things like that. And he's expecting his second child. So congratulations, Carlos. We're going to clap it up for you one time. Woo! That's the homie Carlos. I've known him since middle school. He cuts my hair. He does a feedman job too. Look at that shit. Woo! You know what I mean? Look at that thumbnail. And so yeah, congratulations to my boy Carlos. He's over here expecting his second baby. And it's wild now though. The homies are having kids. You know, some of my friends are really like well off to do models. One of my friends from school, she is on the cover of Vogue. Another one has like millions of followers on Instagram, but anyone can pay for fucking Instagram followers. I'm just saying, it's just you could, you know, if you got millions of followers and you can't sell 1 million copies, you know what I mean, of whatever, you know, it's kind of fishy. I've been taking a break from Pokemon Go. I haven't really been playing seriously since I got back from Mexico, which is like already a month already. And I think it's well needed, man. I put so much time into Pokemon Go, so much money. Like I easily spent like $1,000 on Pokemon Go. So I just, you know, I put so much into it that now I'm just taking a break. I'm laying back and I'm just doing my own thing, you know, focusing more on my music, the podcast, everything like that. I performed at Firewater again. I performed Macarena, produced the beat produced by the Jamma. It was really cool. I mostly perform now just so I could like connect with people and network and just so I could sharpen my performance skills. You know, I don't go there just so I could show off fucking my designer clothes I spent my whole check on or you know what I mean? Like some people I feel like they perform or whatever, right? Like I just feel people don't really go up there for the right reasons, and I'm just really trying to show out and show that fucking I'm not, to be fucked with musically or lyrically or any of that shit. Cause I'm definitely demolishing the crowd. Ain't no everywhere I go. Like pretty much every time I I've gone off the stage, I've got a standing ovation, and that's the cool part about having a good room like Audio Dope is like there's a good vibe and even if you like kind of don't have good music, there'll still like somebody or a few people will clap it up for you. I'm just kind of seeing like what works and what doesn't work in that room as far as like what songs. And over the weekend it was Thanksgiving, and it was crazy because I did the podcast with my grandma, my tia Trini. I hadn't seen her in like 10 or 11 years, so that was wild. She has like an Arabic accent, which is wild because she got married to some Arab dude, so she's big in the Arab culture. She was telling me all kinds of like Arabic words and Arabic things. And I'm like, yeah, I hear it in your voice, like you're fucking Palestine all the way or whatever. That's kind of racist, but I mean, like, whatever. Like, she's just super into it, and shout out to her. Like, that's cool. I saw my cousin Alberto. I hadn't seen him in like 10 years either. He has 2 kids now, and they made a fucking mess all over our floor, bruh. And it's kind of like, bro, clean your guys' shit up, bruh. Like, that's fucking wild how people with kids, they just don't care about whose house they go in, what messes they make. They just fucking make a mess everywhere, and they don't care. I mean, I love my cousins, I love my family, but like, bro, you gotta be on that shit. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, oh, well, my kids make a mess. That's, just because it's not your house doesn't mean it's not your problem. Like, bro, that shit was all on you. Give a fuck about what. What else? I'm speeding through this shit, which is cool. I don't want to bog y'all to death with like hour videos every time and shit. Just one thing. Today I start my new position at my work, and I couldn't have been happier, man. I when I first got in the company, I already had it in my mind. Like, I have an agenda. There's goals I want to do, and there's things I want to reach. And this was one of them. I wanted to move up the ladder in some sort of way. And this is it. I start my new position today. I actually got to go in. I'm going to leave the house in like half an hour. That's why this shit got to be short too. Because I'm going to be I'm going to be driving now. So I'm going to get more money. I start my training, and I just want to thank God, man, because I've had so many whack jobs. I've literally worked with gang members. I worked with a dude who had a missing ring finger, and in the hole and shit, it was a smiley face. I was like, okay, I can't do this shit. Literally 2 hours in, because I had been going through the agency for years. Like, I think I was doing agency shit. And if you don't know what agency, they contract you to do work at another company. And so the first contract I ever did, I worked 2 hours at this warehouse, which fucking, it's pretty close to my house actually. And that was when I was working with this fucking, with, the ring finger guy, smiley face ring finger. And it sucked, bro. Literally, we're just taping boxes together. But the way we were doing it and on a pallet, that shit just sucked. Literally, after 2 hours, I was like, I'm out of here, dog. I can't do this shit. Couldn't even work that shit. Then, like, oh my God, buddy, I just kicked my dog. What the fuck are you doing? So, my first real job, I only worked like 4 months there. It was it was in Redlands, and that shit was a fucking bitch to drive to and from every day. But it was better over there. I made some pretty decent money. I mean, even for now. I mean, not really for now, but like for the time, I made some pretty cool money. It was still peanuts, but I mean, going from being broke as fuck, not having money in your account to, a $400 check every week, it was pretty nice. So I did that for 4 months. I got laid off. Then I worked at another job. Worked there for like 2 months. They laid me off. And after that, it was just contracts, agency contracts. And then I moved with my grandma. It fucking sucked. So when I finally did, and I'm already, like, they gave me a plaque and everything. I'm already a year into the company with this job. Oh, and I worked at Frito-Lay. Fuck Frito-Lay. I was there for like 4 months as well. Straight up slave labor. If you ever buy a bag of Cheetos or something, you're supporting straight up fucking slave labor that they do in China for the iPhones. But with what I'm doing now, I already had a plan. Like, okay, I'm not just gonna be a regular worker. I'm gonna move up the ladder. I'm gonna be a driver. I'm gonna be a supervisor. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. I had already had it in my mind that I'm gonna climb up this motherfucker, because I don't give a fuck how good you sing and dance. You're still gonna need stable money. You know, the whole shit where you could just, the days where you could just be a rapper and not have a job are long gone. I mean, they're not long gone, but they're gone. Like, at least, you know, for sure. There's nobody that's fucking overnight sensations. Like, there's very few the last overnight sensation was Ice Spice, and before that it was probably like Chief Keef or something, bro. Every artist has to grind it out, has to somehow provide for themselves. And the music doesn't do that. Maybe until you're a superstar, yeah, that's when it happens. But bro, literally, you gotta hold it down. So all my artists out there, to everybody, don't feel ashamed about having a job. Don't feel ashamed about having a hustle or a 9 to 5 or whatever you gotta do, and you know, fucking landscaping or some shit like that. But bro, you gotta put food on the table. And you're not gonna put food on the table if you're not making at least $1,000 a week from the music. It's just not gonna happen. And even if you do make $1,000 a week from your music, it's still challenging, bro. You got bills, you got mouths, you got a lot of things dependent on you that rap isn't gonna make happen if you're not making the adequate amount of money. You know what I mean? So I want to thank God real quick, you know what I mean, for everything that he's blessed me with. And, you know, I start my new shit today. So, you know what I mean? I'm actually going to go right now. So, this is the God's Hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to build the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower, to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now, while the angels fly over my headstone.